First thing I want to say is this is not going to be the best produced presentation you've ever seen. It's going to be a compilation of videos that I've put together to try to help you understand what your atlas does and how your life could be drastically changed by doing a very simple thing. A few years ago I learned about something that I could not believe was not common knowledge, and I realized that thousands of other people didn't know about this that needed it. And I also realized that I knew how to get this information to the people who needed it, like you, and that is what is happening right now. And what I'm asking you to do is just take the next few minutes and just think about what I'm telling you and see if this makes sense. I mean, if you are in pain or you've lost control of your body, this might be the answer you're looking for. But because of where you're getting your information, they either don't know about it or they don't believe that this option can work for you. But it can. So I think it's at least worth checking out. And I hope that as you watch these videos, you will just consider the possibility that it could be this easy, because I know that is going to be hard to believe. But everything that I see and all the experiences and all the people that I've talked to, some of these videos that I've shot, these people are getting better, and this can happen for you. The question I want to ask you is, do you know what your atlas actually does? Just think about this for a second. Your body actually consists of 3 parts: your head, your atlas bone, and then the rest of your body. In this picture, you will see pads both on the top and the bottom of the atlas bone. The skull rests on top of the atlas bone, and then the atlas sits on top of the C2 vertebra, or the axis. Now at this exact point, your brain becomes the brainstem, this thick bundle of nerves that branches off to every part of your body, telling it what to do and how to function correctly. This area is a major bottleneck for your nervous system. Nearly every nerve that your body uses for communication goes through that narrow opening in the atlas. So the atlas bone actually serves several functions. Not only does it balance your head on your spine, but it also controls the alignment of all the bones in your spinal column. In an attempt to support the weight of your head, think a bowling ball, without cutting off those life-critical functions like heartbeat, breathing, digestion, or even moving your arms and legs. Everything is controlled through the nervous system by your brain. So doesn't it make sense that any misalignment of this atlas bone would cause a number of different health problems or conditions? I just want to go and do a few little demonstrations, just showing you some practical ways that you can look at why this could be possible, that this could actually work. The first example I want to show you is this simulation of a spine. Now I know this is crude, but it's the best that I have. Basically, this is the brainstem. It's a bundle of nerves that are going into the spinal column, and then the nerves come out through the vertebrae and actually connect with different parts of your body, telling it what to do. Now, there are a couple of different ways that your spine can get bound up and these nerve communications can be cut off. And one of the ways is you get hit. Like if you ever fallen down the stairs, if you've been in a car wreck, have you played contact sports, any number of those things, what happens is when your spine gets jarred or something gets thrown out of whack, the bones in the back kind of ripple effect, and it's in a percussive way. Like if you tap it, it sends it different ways. In fact, one of the upper cervical correction techniques uses that exact same thing to correct just the atlas. But what I want you to picture here is something like a whip that has a heavy bowling ball on the end of it. And when something percussive happens, it vibrates all the way through, and then it wedges up against that bowling ball. And the atlas's purpose then is the balancing point between the spinal column and where the head rests. So then when you move, it tries to rotate and keep you as balanced as possible. But what these upper cervical doctors can do is they can go in and they can move that bone, straighten it out, and then your body will attempt to try to keep itself balanced and keep the nerve communications fully functional. But once the atlas is aligned, you're still bound up, and however long you were out of alignment, those muscles and tendons and everything around your body have held in that place. So it gets you straight, but it's going to keep wanting to go back there, and then eventually it starts to heal itself. And then your vertebrae start to break apart from each other and allow those cushions, the discs, to rehydrate and allow your spine to be up so that you can freely move and everything moves fluidly all the way from your head all the way down to your hips. I'm saying that you can go into their office with like 20 pounds on one side of your body. They just barely touch the side of your neck and move that atlas into alignment, and when you leave you are square and balanced. Like they will sit you on a table and your legs will be one leg longer than the other, and when you leave in one time sometimes, it's not all the time, and sometimes it takes a long time for it to actually try to stay that way. It depends on how bad it is. But the more you keep it corrected, the better your body is going to heal and the better that you're going to function as a whole. But just imagine, this is your head. This is how much your head weighs. This is a bowling ball. And that bowling ball is sitting on that atlas bone, on top of the rest of your spine. What do you think is going to be going on right there if that is all twisted and tilted? If you have a nervous system, this will help you. And it's something that you need to have done, just like when you go to the dentist. Like they discovered like in the last 50, 100 years that if you maintained your teeth on a consistent basis, that they would last longer and that you would have less toothaches and pains and all that kind of stuff. So now we all periodically go in and get our teeth checked. It's no different than that. Only it's not drugs, it's not surgery, it's actually allowing your body to function the way that it is designed to. It's made to work correctly. It's not right to be in pain. It's not right to not have control over your body. That is a restriction of what is supposed to be going on. And the thing that I always knew, I mean, obviously our spine's all connected like a chain. I just never really thought about the fact that all this was going on right up there at the top, and that just by moving that, it would cause all the rest of them. I mean, when I was a kid, I went to a chiropractor and they would put up the x-ray. They would say, okay, this and that and that, and the hip would always, every time it was always my hip was out of alignment. And so to fix that, they would bend my knee over and then they would jam into it. And then they would say, over time, this was going to actually eventually cause my hip to be straight. But when I went into this upper cervical doctor and got it done, my legs were straight, my hips were straight that I saw on x-rays that day. It didn't stay that way because it takes time, and it was all bound up, and it, you know, that next week it was a little sore even, because whatever caused you to get out of alignment, those muscles have now grown to be where they're at. So when that bone starts trying to move, it's going to be sore just like it did. I mean, it's not as bad because it wasn't traumatic. It's a little teeny pressure to that bone, just moving it a little bit, and it causes all of that to change.